So yesterday we were dealing about discussing about the antifungals of the category, especially the amphotericin B and many more drugs. Of course, the nystatin, griseofulvin, and the others. So today we will discuss about the anti-metabolites, means the drugs which are effective against the metabolism of the fungi. So here the number one drugs has the flucytosine. So it is also known as 5-FC, is a fluorinated pyrimidine, and this antifungal agent. It is a fluorinated pyrimidine antifungal agent. Then originally it is synthesized as the anti-neoplastic drug, flucytosine, but as the same 5-fluorouracil, but later it found to have a very good antifungal activity. So it occurs as a whole white to off-white crystalline powder, and it should be stored in airtight container and also from the light to prevent decomposition. Usually most of the drugs it happens, especially the oxytetracycline should always be stored in a cool place and protected from light, or else it will turn to dark brown. So this is the structure of the drug flucytosine. Then the mechanism, as the name indicates, it is the anti-metabolite, and it is analog of the cytosine and requires conversion into active metabolites inside the fungal cells. So on administration enters the fungal cell via the cytosine specific permease. So an enzyme not found in the mammalian cell. So this is the inside the fungal cell rapidly converted to 5-fluorouracil or 5-FU by cytosine deaminase. And then what happens? So this 5-fluorocytosine monophosphate 5-FUMP is converted to 5-FU triphosphate, which interferes with the pyrimidine this metabolism, and eventually the RNA and protein synthesis will be inhibited. So the mechanism of action is little bit different from that of the earlier drugs, especially the griseofulvin and amphotericin B. Then by alternate pathway, especially the 5-fluorodeoxyuracil monophosphate is an inhibitor of the thymidylate synthase enzyme, and then the inhibition of thymidyllic acid, which is very essential for the DNA, is done, and it disrupts the DNA synthesis and cell division. Then organisms including mammals are resistant to flucytosine because they lack permease enzyme or other enzymes responsible for flucytosine activity, and combination of flucytosine and AMB is synergistic because the amphotericin affects the fungal cell permeability, allowing more and more this flucytosine to penetrate the cell. So here also it is especially both of these amphotericin B and both of these 5-fluorocytosine are having synergistic action because some of the mechanism of the action is somewhat similar. And here is the diagrammatic representation how it is going to inhibit. So the 5-fluorocytosine is transported especially across the cell membrane, especially the fungal cell membrane. Then it inhibits the thymidylate synthase of this kinase into incorporation into the this RNA. So here the cytosine deaminase, it is a very fungal specific and not host specific. So this is in the especially the fungal cell, this particular structure is converted to 5-fluorouracil, and this 5-fluorouracil inhibits the thymidylate synthase of incorporates into RNA. So the RNA of the fungi will get distorted, and hence the fungal growth stops. Then this is same, of course, the cytosine permease. So then the 5-FC is converted to 5-FU. So this 5-FU is especially going to block, especially the 5-fluoro UTP. This will be incorporated into the RNA, this fungal RNA, and the ultimately the protein synthesis is inhibited. So of course, this is the same mechanism of action. Here, the same is in this thing. Usually, the 5-FU get inside the bacteria, this fungal cell, and it is converted to the different products, and ultimately it is incorporated into the DNA or RNA, especially in the RNA synthesis is inhibited, and hence the fungal cell get affected. So this is also the same thing, mechanism of flu cytosine in a different format, so that if we read it recurrently, we can easily recognize this thing. So the flu cytosine enters the fungal cell via a cytosine specific permease. Here, it is going to enter the cell with the help of the cytosine specific permease, an enzyme not found in the mammalian cells. So this enzyme, cytosine specific permease, is not present in the host cell membrane, and the flu cytosine is then converted by a series of steps to 5-fluorodeoxyuridine, 5-monophosphate. So this is converted to the another product, then 5-FUV. Then it is converted to 5-fluorouracil, then 5-FD-UMP. Then this 5-FD-UMP is going to block the thymidylate kinase, which converts DTFP to DNA. This project is inhibited, and hence the fungi is going to die. So the antibacterial spectrum, it's a fungistatic. Now there is till then there are no fungicidic drugs, and spectrum of activity is limited, very much limited, especially, and it includes the Cryptococcus, Candida, Aspergillus, Sporinthrix, and a few other pathogenic fungi, and many other fungi responsible for the systemic mycosis and dermatophytes are resistant to fluorocytosine and ineffective against bacteria and other microorganisms. Then fungal resistance to flu cytosine develops rapidly even during the course of the treatment also. Then the rate of the emergence of resistance is lower with a combination of amphotericin B and the flu cytosine than the flu cytosine alone. So although the mechanism of resistance is not exactly known, then decreased level of any enzymes required in the conversion of the flu cytosine to the fluorouracil and beyond the increased synthesis of the cytosine by the fungi are considered important in the, especially the resistance mechanism is like this. And the pharmacokinetic, of course, it is rapidly and almost completely absorbed after oral administration. So peak plasma concentration is achieved within 1 to 2 hours. So after oral administration, and presence of food may delay the rate of absorption, and of course it is distributed very rapidly throughout the body, and we have a good penetration, especially into the cerebrospinal fluid and synovial fluid, and also aqueous humor. This is important, especially the mucormycosis, etc. They are going to enter inside the eye. Then only about 2 to 4% of the drug is bound to plasma proteins, and about 80 to 95% of the drug is excreted unchanged in the urine via the glomerular filtration. So the half-life, you can just see that it is 3 to 6 hours, and renal clearance be significantly showed in the renal dysfunction. So the side effects of this drug, when compared to the other drugs, especially amphotericin B, etc., this is having low toxicity and well tolerated over long periods also. Because most of the antifungal drugs need to be administered for 6 months, 7 months, etc., then it need to be very safe. And it has potential of interfering with DNA synthesis, therefore is likely to affect the body systems with high turnover with rapidly dividing cells. And it may cause the bone marrow depression, especially in patients with renal disease, and the manifested as pancytopenia is also seen. And other side effects include, as usual, it's very common with almost all the other drugs like the nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and some of the reversible hepatic effects. So there will see a transient increase in the liver enzymes, AST, ALT, etc., and reversible erythemic alopic dermatitis, alopic dermatitis in dogs, and aberrant behavior and seizure in case of cats have been reported following the flu cytosine administration. So the teratogenic effects have been reported in laboratory animals. So one need to be careful. Of course, the contraindications and precautions, usually contraindication, especially in the hypersensitive to it, and it should be used with caution in patients with renal insufficiency because it's already having the kidney toxicity, and pre-existing bone marrow depression is also another problem. And teratogenic in some lab animals, that's used in pregnant animals, is recommended only when benefits are over the risk. The drug interaction, yes, usually the fluotosine has synergistic effect with the amphotericin B and ketoconazole, and the combination may retard the emergence of resistance strains. So, of course, so the renal effects of this amphotericin B may prolong elimination half-life of the drug, and it should not be combined with any immunosuppressing drugs such as especially the anti-cancerous drugs. So they may cause severe depression of the bone marrow. Then clinical uses, it is very effective as amphotericin B, but low toxicity makes it the useful in systemic infections caused by the Candida albicans, then the Cryptococcus meningitis. So the 5-fluorocytosine, especially mostly combined with AMB for synergistic action and in the treatment of the cryptococcosis, especially the meningeal cryptococcosis, especially in case of the dogs and cats. So alone it's used in treatment of aspergillosis and the candidiasis and psittacosis, especially psittacin in birds. Dose, of course, it's a little high, that's 100 to 200 milligram per kg orally, divided doses along with the AMB. Then the dose of the amphotericin B should be halved and used in combination with flucytosine so that the toxicity may be reduced. So this is here you can see that the Glenmark company, it is going to produce the flucytosine tablets as 500 milligram. Then here there is a brief mechanism how the flucytosine is going to act. So we'll see what is this. So the flucytosine, especially this is the
nucleus, the deoxyuracil monophosphate.
Yes, especially this is the nucleus of the fungus, and this is the thymidylate synthase. So DUMP, it is going to inhibit the thymidine synthesis, and it is going to cause DTMP. Whereas this DTMP is going to accumulate, especially in the DNA strand, and hence it is going to inhibit the growth of the fungus cell. Whereas here is a very specific enzyme. It is very specific to that of the fungus, which is not present in the mammalian cells. So it is getting inside the cell. And later, the flucytosine is going to be in the cytosol. Then it is going to, yes, converted by the cytosine deaminase to 5-fluorouracil. So 5-fluorouracil is going to enter the nucleus of the fungus. Then it is going to inhibit the different enzyme. Of course, this is the nucleolus. And 5-fluorouracil, when it enters the nucleolus, then it is converted to 5-DUMP. Same thing here. What is meant 5-DUMP? It is going to block the thymidylase synthase enzyme. Then ultimately the bacterial, what you call as fungal RNA is not formed. Then the azoles. The azole group of the synthetic broad spectrum antifungal agents with similar mechanism of action and the antifungal spectrum they have got. And the azoles are classified into two subgroups. Number one, the imidazoles and triazoles. Imidazoles and triazoles. So both of these have got the similar mechanism action, and here some of the important antifungal drugs are there. So imidazoles have two, whereas triazoles have three nitrogen atoms in the basic 5-number ring structure. Whereas these compounds fulfill the requirement of relatively non-toxic and effective antifungal compounds. So here the imidazoles, first class is imidazoles and triazoles. These are the predominantly synthetic drugs. So they are not naturally derived, and these are active against many microorganisms and parasites, including the fungi, bacteria, helminths, and the protozoa, and generally poorly soluble in water, but can be dissolved in organic solvents. Then imidazole structures is like this. Usually, yes, two nitrogen items are present. Then in case of triazoles, it is 3. Then the mechanism of action is triazoles. So they alter membrane permeability of the susceptible fungi by inhibiting the ergosterol synthesis. So ergosterol is very much required for the fungal cell wall synthesis, and it inhibits 14-alpha demethylase enzyme. So it is a fungal microsomal CYP450 dependent enzyme, and this enzyme catalyzes the methylation of the ionosterol. So yesterday you have seen the fungal cell structure. It is the ionosterol, a major cell membrane component. Because of this thing, the reduced ergosterol content in the cell membrane decreases the fluidity of membrane and increases permeability, with effect very similar to that of the amphotericin B, because amphotericin B is going to be converted to the triphosphate, then it is going to be incorporated inside the bacterial, this fungal RNA. Then the inhibition of ergosterol synthesis leads to the accumulation of 14-alpha methylsterols. Then this impairs the membrane functions. Then alteration in the energy metabolism and the growth inhibition will occur. Whereas the high concentration of azole derivatives also inhibit fatty acid and the glyceride synthesis. And azoles are also reported to affect the activation of the oxidative and peroxidative enzymes, then resulting in intracellular accumulation of toxic levels of hydrogen peroxide. Then what happens? The oral effect is the imidazoles on fungal cells and other microbial cells. Then the cell membrane and internal organelle, there will be disruption. So this fungal cholesterol synthesis in mammals is not affected, as it does not require 14-alpha demethylase. So that because of this thing, the toxicity on the host cell is less. Please remember that cholesterol synthesis in mammals, especially in the animals, is not affected, as it does not require 14-alpha methylase enzyme. Whereas the synthesis of the selected steroids and drug metabolizing enzymes may be impaired in the host by some of the drugs. Then already yesterday we have dealt this particular thing. Once again, we will remember what are all the antifungal activities of some of the drugs are concerned. So here you can see this is a fungal cell. Then it is containing the cell wall and also the cell membrane. And these are the ergosterol, and inside this CYP450 is there. So here, CYP450 and 14-alpha demethylase is going to be combined, and the cell membrane will be formed. Whereas the cell membrane, once it is formed, it requires the stabilization, and here beta 1,3 synthase is there, which will lead to 1,3 glucan, which is a cross bridging between the cell wall and cell membrane. Whereas the azole type of the antifungal agents, they come and bind with that of the alpha 14 alpha methylase enzyme, and hence what happens is the particular step which this is going to inhibit. Whereas the lanosterol, which is required for the synthesis of cell membrane, it cannot bind with the specific site, and hence the cell lysis occurs, cell membrane lysis occurs. So because of this thing, the bacterial, this fungal cell is going to die. Whereas the amphotericin B is also having some of the effect, especially the potassium and hydrogen ATPase enzyme, which will hamper the cell membrane permeability. So this is the simple animation how you can learn the antifungal actions of the different drugs, especially the echinocandins are going to act on beta 1,3 synthase enzyme. Then what happens? This ergosterol cannot become the part of the cell membrane, and hence the fungal cell is going to die. Then ketoconazole is an imidazole antifungal drug for the systemic use, and it is the first azole that could give orally to treat systemic fungal infections, and is still considered as the prototypic drug for the azole type of the antifungal agent. And practically it is totally not at all soluble in water. Why I am telling all these things is, if we know that particular chemical property, then we can remember the route of the administration and the kinetic parameters. An introduction of some newer agents like the fluconazole and many more are reduced the clinical usefulness, especially in the human medicine. Newer and newer drugs have been arrived. So this is the structure of ketoconazole. Then the antimicrobial spectrum, it has a broad spectrum antifungal drug, which includes the Candida, Cryptococcus, then Candidiosis, Blastomycetes, then the Histoplasma species. In this, it's also affect against the Candida and dermatophytes like the Microsporum and Trichophyton. Very high concentrations are required to treat most of the strains of the Aspergillus because these are all the resistant fungi. So this happens. Then the possesses very high in vitro activity against some of the bacteria like the staph, nocardia, then enterococci, etc. Then also some of the viruses, especially the herpes simplex virus. So in the previous week we have learned about this, especially the drugs, antiviral drugs, which are effective against the herpes simplex virus and many more viruses. So the clinical applications of these have not been determined well, and it has no anti-parasitic activity with possible extensions of anti-protozoal effects, especially leishmania. And fungal resistance is not observed in this particular group. Then the other pharmacological effects, it produces the endocrine effects in host animals, mainly by interacting with the steroid synthesis. So inhibition of the CYP450 enzyme systems. So because of this thing, there is a reduction in testosterone or hydrocortisone synthesis at dosages used for the antifungal therapy. So high dosages have to be tried to reduce testosterone hydrocortisone levels in clinical cases of the prostatic carcinoma and hyperadrenocorticism with success, of course. Yes, this is also one of the another use of this drug. And effect on other steroids, including the mineralocorticoids, is of course negligible. Kinetics, usually very simply what we can learn is oral absorption of the ketoconazole is variable. So many of you, when you do have this Dobie's itch or the Barber's itch, etc., you will be prescribed with ketoconazole. Then you should know what is the mechanism, how it is going to act, what are all the toxicities, etc. And individual animals, especially the effect, depends upon the factors like the pH, etc. Then on oral administration, ketoconazole dissolves in acidic gastric contents and absorbed through the gastric mucosa only. So peak plasma concentrations occurs in dogs 1 to 4 hours after oral administration. So the bioavailability, of course, it is highly fluctuating, 5 to 90%. So usually whenever there is a acidic pH, the availability will increase, and the H2 blockers should not be given along with ketoconazole. So please remember that H2 blockers should not be administered with ketoconazole. Then after absorption, widely distributed body, then plasma protein binding is more than 90%. Then metabolized, it's extensively in liver and excreted primarily in the bile. And some unmetabolized drug and its metabolites are also excreted in urine. So the elimination of life is 1 to 6 hours in dog. And as usual, most of the antiviral and antifungal drugs do have the side effect like GI disturbances, vomiting, diarrhea. It's a very common feature. Of course, the hepatotoxicity consisting of the cholangiohepatitis and increased liver enzymes may occur, which may either idiosyncratic or dose related, and they get reversed. And cats are more susceptible to the hepatotoxic effects, especially when compared to the dogs. And this may suppress the testosterone or hydrocortisone synthesis and may decrease the libido, especially in the animals, but the effects are transient at dosages employed in antifungal therapy. So one need to be careful, especially libido in case of the male, it is decreased. Then it inhibits the cytochrome P450 systems and affects the metabolism of the other drug. And hair coat lightening will be there, which is reversible. Then thrombocytopenia is also noted in some animals, but all these are limited to the prolonged use. And contraindication in the patients who are hypersensitivity to these products, and especially severe hepatic damage, and should be used with cautions in the pregnant animal because it causes the teratogenic effect, especially in case of the early pregnancy. And the dogs undergoing very high dosage antifungal therapy may need glucocorticoid during the period of the acute stress. Then the drug interactions, especially it inhibits the cytochrome 450 enzyme systems and potentiate the toxicities of several drugs like the warfarin, sulfonylurea, cyclosporine, etc. And also the H1 receptor blockers. Rifampicin decreases the serum level of the ketoconazole. So co-administration of ketoconazole, the griseofulvin and amphotericin B is not recommended due to the high incidence of the toxic effect. So whenever you are administering any antifungal drug, please see that what are all the drug interactions of these drugs and not indications. So the absorption is inhibited by the antacids, especially H2 blockers, ranitidine, famotidine, cimetidine, all the stadins you should not administer. Then of course, when after the lunch or the dinner, there will be a food is there, then that study need to be conducted much more because it may hamper the absorption. Usually it hampers. So the clinical uses, it's used to treat the systemic mycosis, especially in the dogs, cats, horses, birds, and some other species. And this is used to treat the superficial fungal infections, especially that have not responded to the griseofulvin topic ointment. So the high dosages of the ketoconazole are used to treat this hypoadrenocorticism. So please remember, a drug which is belonging to the antifungal category, which is also used to treat the hyperadrenocorticism, that is the drug, you have to remember the ketoconazole. So this ketoconazole is available as the ointment, then the tablet with 200 milligram wet tablet is available. Then dogs 5 to 20 milligram per kg orally, 2 to 3 times a day for 10 to 15 days. Then cats 5 to 20 milligram, 1 to 2 times daily. So the horses 10 milligram per kg only once a day. Then miconazole, of course, you might have uh, very familiar with this particular drug because the ointments which we purchase in the medical shop do contain the miconazole. So it's a imidazole antifungal agent. It is a topical agent usually. Then it is penetrated very well inside the skin after the topical administration and persists for about 4 days in the stream of the cornea. And this is effective against both trichophyton and microsporum. So occasionally used by the intravenous route to treat systemic infections and orally for the GI tract infections, fungal infections. So very similar to that of the amphotericin B, this is administered IV and also the topical. And in case of human, it is intrathecally for fungal infections of the central nervous system. It is available as 2% cream and 1% lotion for the treatment of the dermatophytosis, which is caused by the susceptible fungi in cats. So it is safe, but rarely dogs with atopic dermatitis develop a pruritic reactions after treatment. So this atopic dermatitis is a very common problem in case of dogs because of the allergy of its own thing. Then it causes a lot of irritation, itching, and secondary bacterial infections. So in this case, if you use this particular ointment, it may develop pruritic reactions. So there is the dogs may start itching. So here you can see lot of, suppose if it is antifungal ointment, then it is containing clobetasol propionate, ofloxacin, an antibacterial agent, and also the miconazole. So then clobetasol, of course, you have already learned about the long-acting steroid, and also the zinc sulfate and nitrate, especially miconazole nitrate. So this is the combination, especially the clobetasol propionate, ofloxacin. So ofloxacin, as you know very well, that it is a quinolone antibiotic, fluoroquinolone, and the zinc sulfate is also used. Then the structure of miconazole is little bit different than of the ketoconazole. Then anilconazole, or it's also known as imazalil. So topical antifungal agent with action similar to that of the miconazole, and it has excellent antifungal activity, and it is having the residual effect after the topical application. So anilconazole is reported to have a vapor effect and is instilled into the nasal cavity, may control the nasal aspergillosis. Recently, this is also used in case of this mucormycosis, especially in the corona affected and recovered patients. So available as 10% concentrate solution for the dilution to make 0.2% emulsion, usually 1:50. So this is applied topically. So here you can see, especially many shampoos, which are applied on the hair to control the fungal infections, is like this particularly. Dermatomycosis, especially in case of cattle, there is a 100 ml bottle is available. Then it is 1:100 dilution may be used to disinfect the poultry equipments and facilities against the aspergillus species, and may be used in case of the conjunctivitis induced by the systemic fungal infections, and also with the glycofulvin for the treatment of the ringworm disease. Then the anilconazole structure is like this. Then the thiabendazole. So what is a thiabendazole? It is an anthelmintic, imidazole anthelmintic, but it's also a potent antifungal agent. So a lot of these thiabendazole preparations are available in the field conditions, and this is active against a range of fungi, including the dermatophytes. So also included in the otic or nasal preparations for the treatment of the yeast infections. Dose is 10 milligram per kg 2 times daily. So the thiabendazole, of course, a anthelmintic agent, especially in the sheep, goat, etc. Of course, in cattle also it is used. So thiabendazole structure. Then another drug, this is clotrimazole, is very commonly used topical antifungal agent, and it is used for the candidiasis, trichomoniasis, then dermatophyte infections of the skin and the vagina. So, because of the soft tissue infections, the side effects may include local irritation, pruritus, and edema. Then, unlike ketoconazole, it is microsomal enzyme inducer. Clotrimazole is also very commonly used in most of the antifungal ointments along with the miconazole. So the several other imidazoles are there available commercially, but are less used in case of veterinary medicine. The number one cause is the cost of this is very high, especially this iconazole, isoconazole, sulconazole, and thioconazole, betaconazole, and the oxyconazole. All these are the new versions or the new derivatives of the imidazoles. Then triazoles, so broad spectrum antimicrobial agents that are usually considered along with the imidazoles because both groups share the same mechanism of action and also the antifungal spectrum. So the systemic triazole antifungal agents are more slowly metabolized and have less effect on the mammalian sterol synthesis than do the imidazoles. So the fluconazole, itraconazole, and terraconazole are important triazoles. Fluconazole is important. Itraconazole is recently used. So the fluconazole recently introduced synthetic triazole antifungal agent and occurs as a white crystalline powder and is slightly soluble in water. And the antimicrobial spectrum is fluorinated bistriazole with fungistatic action against a variety of the pathogenic fungi. So this is effective against both local and systemic Candida albicans and systemic Cryptococcus species, and also of course the histoplasmosis, then Sporothrix and Blastomyces species. And this is effective against the dermatophytes, but efficacy against Aspergillus species is somewhat doubtful. In general, it appears to have a wider range of antifungal activity than that of the ketoconazole and considered useful in the treatment of ketoconazole resistant strains of the Candida albicans. So, of course, this is one of the better agent, recently introduced agent. Then the fluconazole is having the structure like this. Then kinetics, it is 90% it is absorbed after the oral dosing. And unlike the clinical, this ketoconazole, it is oral bioavailability is not affected, especially when you take it with the food. So plasma protein binding is very less, hence the free from the drug is available. Especially fluconazole is readily distributed into the body and good concentration in the cerebrospinal fluid and also the peritoneal fluid, saliva and urine. Hence, it may be a drug of choice for all these type of the infections. So the apart from this ketoconazole, unlike this is poorly metabolized and is mainly excreted through the urine. Of course, the biliary excretion is very, very less. And its half-life in human being is about 30 hours in patients with normal kidney functions. So the side effects, as usual, GI disturbances, then there is a lesser affinity for the mammalian site 450 responsible for the post-steroid synthesis. So, but it can inhibit drug metabolizing CYP450 enzyme. And rarely the what you call as the rashes and other thrombocytopenia are seen. Otherwise, it's a good drug, fluconazole. And contraindications, it is primarily metabolized by the urine, unlike the other drugs. And doses must be reduced in patients with the kidney problem. It is not recommended in pregnant animals, especially the lactating animals. So while prescribing the antifungal drug to these pregnant animals, please be cautious because you have to judge whether it is having some effect or not. Then the drug interactions. So it is going to inhibit the hepatic P450 microsomal enzyme systems and the elevate the concentrations of the drugs like phenytoin, then cyclosporin, warfarin, and also the sulfonylureas. So the concurrent use of fluconazole and warfarin sometimes may increase the prothrombin time. And the fluconazole and combination with amphotericin B may show additive effects against some of the fungal infections. These are very commonly used and used in the treatment of systemic mycosis, including the cryptococcal meningitis. So this is used only for the oral administration, and intravenous route may also be used in case of a special situations whenever there is very high infections. So here you can see this fluconazole injection is also available, and then also the tablets, Fluca 150, which is a 150 milligram tablet, and the dogs 5 to 10 milligram per kg. If a dog weighing 15 kg, then we can administer one tablet. Then dogs, birds, 5 to 10, especially the aspergillosis. And itraconazole recently introduced triazole antifungal agent. So broad spectrum activity than the ketoconazole and fluconazole. So as usual, it is effective in different fungal infections. So this active fungal agent is primarily it is fungistatic. So no drug is fungicidal, as we have learned so far. Then structure like this. Moderate to well absorbed orally with the gastric acid pH and lower pH, and which enhances the absorption. Highly plasma protein bound, and it has got very wide distribution, especially in the body tissues and fluids, except to CSF and aqueous humor and saliva, and the extensively metabolized in the liver to many metabolites and active metabolites. That's the hydroxyl itraconazole is also produced that excreted in the feces. Then the plasma half-life itraconazole in man varies from 30 to 64 hours. Elimination may be a saturable process, especially as the concentration go on increasing, the elimination starts. So this, in case of veterinary practice, it is used in the systemic mycosis. So it is useful for the treatment of the superficial candidiasis, dermatophytosis, then which are resistant to the dermatophytic infections. And very important adverse effect is GI effects, especially the vomiting, anorexia, hepatotoxicity, then depression and skin lesions in small animals. And this is also unwanted side effect. Anorexia may develop in some animals and may require dosage reduction in temporary cessation of the therapy. Like fluconazole, itraconazole lacks the endocrine effects of the ketoconazole, just like the ketoconazole. So the trade names are like Intraraj and etc., which is by Hatwet Pharma. So this Hatwet Pharma is manufacturing many of the products, human products, which is introduced into the veterinary practice. So Itraz is a oral solution, and itraconazole capsules are also available as 200 milligram capsules. Then the allylamines is the terbinafine. So terbinafine is the allylamines and the synthetic lipophilic drug. So here you can see that the terbinafine tablets are available as 250 milligram tablets, and the ointment is also available as ofloxacin or nidazole. Nidazole is just like the metronidazole, and along with that terbinafine and the mometasone furoate. So antiseboric drug and antifungal drugs, they are all used. Yes, of course, this is the structure of terbinafine. Then mechanism, it is acting selectively inhibiting the squalane epoxide enzyme. This enzyme is involved in the synthesis of ergosterol from the squalene in the fungi. Whereas thus this decreases the ergosterol synthesis and of course the fungal cell wall and causes the accumulation of the squalene within the cell of the susceptible fungi. The fungal death occurs from the disruption of cell membrane and accumulation of the toxic substance. So the cell membrane of this bacteria get lysed and accumulation of the unwanted substances occur and hence the fungal cell die. And the mammalian cell wall enzyme is inhibited only by the very high concentration. That's why it is safe somehow, the terbinafine. Then the spectrum, it is a wide range or broad spectrum like this dermatophytic drug, including Aspergillus, Trichophyton, then the Microsporin species, and considered more active against the dermatophytes than the Griseofulvin, with less incidence of the relapse. Usually there is a relapse, especially in case of fungal disease. You know that during the period of the ointment pasting, etc., the lesions will disappear. But after some days, if the same habit continues, definitely it's a reoccurring occurs. Then the kinetics, it is well absorbed orally and also it is used topically. Then high plasma protein more than 99%. So very low concentration of the drug is available for the absorption. And because of the very high lipophilic nature, it has got very wide distribution in the body, especially a fat and also the stratum corneum, hair follicles, nails, and sebum rich skin. That's the important thing. And the metabolized in the liver by hepatic cytochrome P450 enzyme system. Usually the metabolites are excreted in 80% urine and 20% in bile. Half-life 10 to 16 hours. So less information is available in the animal side. Side effects usually well tolerated, but the gastric upset, etc., are very common. So the adverse effects are usually and automatically they are self-limiting, unlike other antifungal drugs. So it is not bound to plasma P450 enzyme system. So topical application may cause itching, dryness, erythema, urticaria, etc. So along with other drugs only, it is mixed. Then not to be used in case of the hepatic insufficiency and renal failure. In case of pregnancy also, it is not so indicated. With caution, it need to be used. So no adverse effect on the pregnancy is reported as on the day. Then drug interactions, of course, the literature is not available and it is not having any effect with the CYP450 system. Uses of this drug as well with that of the other drugs. So the itraconazole, so this is soluble as the ointment, terbinafine hydrochloride ointment. Clausal nail infections is commonly treated. So the terbinafine and antifungal drugs. So this is the structure of terbinafine, which is going to hamper the fungal cell wall. It is not act, it is also acting on the host cell, whereas the fungal cell, it is acting on the ergosterol. So lanosterol, then sequilin, conversion of sequilin to lanosterol occurs by the sequilin epoxide, and this is going to be inhibited. Then terbinafine is going to block the sequilin epoxidase. So these are all the administered as the tablets, most of the antifungal drugs, and IV only. IM injection is not given as it is very painful and not recommended for the granule, this administration. Then the so the Naptifine is a topically used lalamine antifungal agent with the following structural formula. It is available as 2% ointment. And yes, these drugs are really helpful in the veterinary practice, especially the iodides. Then sodium iodide and the potassium iodide are having the effect, especially in some of the animals, occasionally used in the treatment of the fungal infections. And the mechanism of antifungal actions of iodides is not well understood, but oral administration potassium iodide or sodium iodide is rapidly and completely absorbed from the GIT, distributed very well, and accumulates in the thyroid gland, that shares as it is containing iodine, and to lesser extent in the salivary, lacrimal, and tracheobronchitic glands. So the iodide, potassium iodide or sodium iodide, used clinically to treat cutaneous lymphocutaneous form of the pyrotrichosis in dogs and cats. It may be used to treat some mycotic infections, including the localized one. So this is the also used in the treatment of bacterial infections like the actinobacillosis. And the potassium iodide or the sodium iodide interfere with the thyroid functions, as iodism may develop after chronic use. So especially the iodide is more toxic. Of course, it is toxic in the many more animals. So it causes the dry skin, then the alopecia, then increased respiration, etc. It is used as 20% solution for oral or IV administration. Then the dose 44 milligram. Then in case of cat 22, horses 125 ml total is administered, especially by 30 milligram per orally. So sodium iodide is available as crystals, which is 99%, 9% pure. The potassium iodide, it's also one of the important drug, a laboratory chemical. Its action is similar to those of the sodium iodide. This is somewhat uncommonly used when compared to the sodium iodide. And similar to the sodium iodide, 20% solution is administered for IV preparations. Then miscellaneous antifungal agent, a large number of the miscellaneous agents with clinically significant antifungal activity are available commercially. And these agents belonging to the different chemical classes, and these are only applied topically on the mucous membranes, buccal mucus, and vaginal these fungal infections. Then the organic acid, yes, this is benzoic acid, is one of the most commonly used drug in veterinary practice, along with the salicylic acid, which is called as the Whitfield ointment, and bacteriostatic and antifungistatic. So it is combined with salicylic acid. The benzoic acid, it's combined with salicylic acid to make the Whitfield ointment. So this is many times a frequently asked question in the examination. So considered as useful against the superficial dermatophytes, particularly the trichophytal infection in cattle and this man, benzoic acid and salicylic acid. One is keratolytic. This benzoic acid is keratolytic and another fungistatic. Salicylic acid used as a keratolytic, neoplasms, etc. They are all used. Then the keratolytic action helps in the penetration of the drug. So that's why the Whitfield ointment, please remember, the Whitfield ointment is containing the equal portions, especially 20% in case of the cattle, and the salicylic acid is a very good keratolytic agent and helps the penetration of the other drug, benzoic acid. Antifungal salicylic acid is mostly used in case of the benzoic acid as Whitfield ointment. So this is, please remember that this is the Whitfield ointment. It is effective against the ringworm. Then fatty acids and salts, that is the varieties of the classes of the drugs are there, and one or two examples are undecyclinate and undecyclic acid. Then it is used for topically, especially the dermatophytes. So it's available as the liquid and claims to be highly useful in the treatment of the tinea pedis, means especially the infections of the nails, tinea pedis, and irritant, especially in the high concentrations. So it is often combined with the zinc or copper to minimize the side effect. Then available as powder, ointment, soap, liquid, and cream, and it cures rates are only mild to moderate, then even after prolonged treatment. Then the propionate or propionic acid, it's a oily liquid with slightly pungent, disagreeable odor or rancid. So sodium propionate is available in the 100 gram. It is a mold inhibitor and preservative and also the topical antifungal agent. And the sodium propionate is usable in the treatment of dermatophytes. Then there are few more drugs, that's all. The dyes, gentian violet, please remember that it's having the violet color, a dye that exists as dark green powder or greenish glistening paste with metallic luster. And this is used as the topical antibacterial, antifungal, and antiseptic. All the three properties are there in the gentian violet. And the phenols, phenol and carbolic acid are topic antifungal, disinfectant, and antifungal agents. And on topical use, skin or mucous membrane is very similar to that of the other drugs, and it may cause irritation. Then the thymol is obtained from as the essential oils of Thymus vulgaris plant. So it has characteristic odor with pungent themselves. So this is a vial containing the thymus. Then it is used for destroying mold and herbarium and parasites. Herbarium, you may be knowing that to preserve the plants, etc., they are dried and kept for a long time, and they have been applied with thymol. Then occasionally used as the topical anti-infective, antiseptic, and antifungal agent. Then haloprogen is the topical agent usually useful against the infections of the Microsporum trichophyton and Candida, and poorly absorbed from the skin, and may produce localized irritation and also the burning sensation. So this is available as cream and solution, but never is used for the systemic. All these are only applied topically. The hydroxyquinolones is the 5th class, and the examples are chloroquinolone, then hydrochloroquine. Then the hydroxyquinolone has been both antibacterial and antifungal properties. So this is useful in the treatment of the superficial dermatophytosis, particularly if there is a concomitant infections of the bacteria. and causes little irritation and not applied near eyes. It causes irritation. Soluble as 3% cream applied topically. Then this is the chloroquinol structure. So thiocarbamates like tolaftate. So topical antifungals which significantly active against the dermatophytes. So tolaftate, it's available as the solution, and it is very effective against the trichophytum and not effective in candidiasis, other type of the superficial mycosis. So it is used in the combination with the clobetasol, griseofulvin, etc. And it may be combined with the salicylic acid and aid tolaftate penetration. Then this is the structure. Then sulfur and its preparation. So this sulfur sublimate is one of the most cheapest agent among the antifungal agents. So extremely used in the externally, it's used as ointment, powder, and lotion for various skin disorders, especially in the ringworm, and there is a eczema there, and used externally as parasiticide, insecticide, and also a mild disinfectant. So here you can know that sulfur skin ointments are there, and the different companies are going to produce the skin ointment. Then coming to the monosulfuram, you might have heard the name disulfuram, which is having the anti-addictive property. Whereas the monosulfuram is sulfur containing mites, occasionally used in the otic preparations where both fungicidal and miticidal activities are useful. So you might have heard the famous soap, that's the Tatmosol soap. Tatmosol soap, especially used in case of the dogs, which is containing monosulfuram. Then the monosulfuram is having the 4 methyl groups. And copper sulfate is one of the oldest antifungal agents topically and considered to be useful against the ringworm infections, and it is produced particularly by the virtue of its astringent and caustic nature, particularly the antifungal actions of the copper ion. So it's used as the ointment or paste and strength of up to 5%, or as the aqueous solutions 1 to 2%. And another drug is the copper naphthalene, and it's used for the treatment of ringworm in case of the cattle. Many times say menace. And lastly, the other antifungal drugs are there, like the cyclopyroxolamine, dichlorphane, hexididine, then chlorphenazine, diacetine, poloxinil, then butanafine, tincture of iodine, iodophores, pinidochlor, sodium thiosulfate. Yes, of course, this sodium thiosulfate is also known as hypo. This is also used as the antifungal agent. And sodium hypochlorite, bleaching powder, selenium sulfide is also available as the shampoos, and some nitrofurans like nitrofuroxine, etc. are used as the antifungal agents. So the cyclopyroxolamine, it's a topical application, penetrates into the hair, especially the scalp, this ointment or the shampoo. Yes, this is about the antifungal agents, and we are in the end of the antifungal agents. So please read the topic very well, so that the mechanism of action of some of the antifungal agents like the amphotericin B, then the other agents need to be very carefully read, and please go through the different animations which are there, and also study the some of these pharmacokinetic parameters and the drug interactions which should not be given whenever the animals are pregnant, and when it is contraindicated with the combination with some of the other drugs. So these need to be studied very well, especially the systemic antifungal agents. So if you administer the topical antifungal agents, nothing is, no toxicity is observed, whereas while administering the antifungal drugs orally for prolonged period, you need to be very careful, because many of them have got the teratogenic activity in case of pregnant animals, and sometimes they may cause the rare hypersensitivity reactions also, because some of the antifungal agents like the drug sulfur and other things, they are having the irritant properties. So the proper dilutions, etc., need to be done in the animals before you are going to use them. And especially in case of veterinary practice, it is the cost effectiveness is very, very alarming, because if you take the antifungal drugs, it is having the cost of especially more than yes, it is having the 100 rupees and more. So many times it is not especially affordable by the poor farmers. So that's how it is going to be done. So with these, we will have the end of this antifungal agents, and tomorrow onwards we will learn either it may be the quinolones or the other drugs, especially if anything is remaining. And we are in the end of the chemotherapy is concerned. So of course, we need to learn the enthelmintics, which is one of the biggest chapter. So we'll cover it as soon as possible. And the enthelmintics, of course, we need to learn many more, trying to the classifications of this azole type of the antifungal, imidazoles, benzimidazoles, etc. So be ready for the next time, and please have the revision of the earlier topics, which is already floated in the YouTube. And also you can read the HS Sandhu book recurrently for getting the updates, especially on this particular chemotherapy is concerned. So have a nice day. Bye.